Have you ever wondered what is common between these men? Yes, and many other men also. Baldness, yes. So that's a male pattern baldness or androgenic alopecia. This is associated with sex hormones, namely testosterone and DHT. This affects 70% males and 30% females. In females, it's known as the female pattern hair loss, not the female pattern baldness. It usually follows a pattern of receding hairline and thinning of the hair on the crown. The pattern of receding hairline is a survival strategy. Have you ever wondered why a person would have baldness? Why a man would have baldness? Just 1 minute, Rahi. There is an idiom, pull out your hair, or I can put it as pull out my hair out. And what would it mean? Can anybody tell me what would it mean? I'm worried. I'm very worried and anxious. I went into the dictionary and found out one line, and it's continuous, right? And then when I went further, I found out that this idiom was used in the ancient times for those people who were constantly mourning or sulking, right? So now, just a small explanation. Thank you, Rahi, for being there. Love you for that. What if I am an aggressive situation, and I'm an aggressive, any person or a stressor or whatever, and I'm pulling her hair. I'm an aggression for her. I'm just going to pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. And it's constant, every day. What will you do, Rahi?
I'll cut my hair short.
Okay. I'll pull your short hair. Then? More shorter?
I think I'll go bald.
Oh my God, she'll go bald. So there we are. She will have no hair on the scalp. She'll prefer to have no hair on the scalp so that she can escape me, the aggressor. Okay, thank you, Ravi. So this is the pattern of receding hairline, and it's a survival strategy. I hope I'm able to get it across. Can we imagine that it's like, can we imagine our scalp like a battlefield in which there is a king who stands at the crown, and the pattern of hairline is it's a particular pattern. What happens is the receding starts from hair in some people, when it could be of two types. It is frontal or it is in the rear. If the threat is perceived in the frontal region, then it's a frontal baldness. If the threat is perceived in the rear region, it's hair. Okay? Now what happens is, I'm amazed to see that this pattern, which you can see it over here, the frontal pattern, it happens, the sides go away. Why does it happen? This person who is in aggressive situation, oh yes, we have a live demo. Please, 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 two of them. Yes, that's it. And that's it there. Thank you so much. So, why would a person have a receding hairline like this? If we imagine a battlefield, the person perceives that perceives that there is a loss of love or nourishment from his family. So he feels that the supporters, his relatives, his near relatives have left him. But he is still standing and dealing with his situation. So the hairline goes from here. And finally, can I have a pen, please? So the first pattern, which is, so the first pattern of receding hairline is like this. The supporters have left him. They are here, but the supporters have left him. The second pattern, now what will happen is, finally this king will succumb. He will succumb to the pressures, and the hairline would become like this, U. He's battling, but once he succumbs to his pressures, he will become like this. The pattern goes like this. And I'm amazed to see that this is perceived as a lack of nourishment or love in people. Finally, when the person perceives that there is no love, there is no nourishment, the papilla which holds the hair does not hold the hair because of lack of nourishment. Now, the second pattern is the rear pattern baldness. Again, the same thing happens. it's perceived, the threat, thank you so much. The threat is perceived at the back. The threat is perceived at the back. So we have a pattern wherein a person would be perceiving a threat, or it may be an actual threat also. Now, DHT. Everybody must know that DHT has a role to play in the male pattern baldness. But what is the role of DHT? Dihydrotestosterone. Dihydrotestosterone is a hormone produced in the body. I'll let you know later how and when. But before that, do you know that there is a connection between all these 5 things with baldness? 1 is the chronic stress, sexuality, muscle bracing, bipolarity, and dihydrotestosterone. Chronic stress. I don't think I need to explain more even. Regular stress. Yeah.
We have 2 adoption lions. We brought them to Africa. I love lions. Just look at the animals with the long, beautiful manes, the male lions. And that's a sign of masculinity, strength, power. When they get castrated, they lose their manes. And they look exactly the same as female lions.
Thank you so much, Rob. So this is the regular stress a person would feel at home, and it's a chronic stress. Like Rahi had demonstrated, we had demonstrated that the stress is chronic. Pulling the hair once, she finds a survival strategy again. That stressor does not go away. So the stress is felt over there. Finally, the person chokes when he cannot escape the situation or the person. Sexuality. The first stress is the territorial stress. The next stress when it comes to the partner, it would lead into bipolarity. So that is where the hormones come into existence. Like Rob just said, that testosterone and estrogen are responsible for the behavioral patterns, and they are basically energies. What happens is, there has been extensive research, and they have found out that when the testosterone, it's not the DHT which causes baldness. There is a saying that DHT causes hair on the body, but it is detrimental to the hair of the scalp. I'm amazed to see that when the DHT is produced, why is it produced? It is produced when there is an alteration between the 2 hormones, estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen goes up, testosterone goes down. A compensatory mechanism is production of DHT. Estrogen goes down, testosterone goes up, DHT is produced. And so, DHT is, what is the function of DHT? The function of DHT is to produce more hair on the body. And the body, obviously, what I think is, cannot differentiate between the body hair and the scalp hair. It can just produce a hormone. It cannot produce a hormone saying that, no, you have to be present on the body and you can't be on the head. So what I was amazed to see that is, there is a muscle on the scalp, which is called the gallia. The gallia is a old terminology used in Roman for a helmet, a kind of a helmet which is too tight on the scalp. So what is happening? The gallia shrinks the nutrition. See, if we see this number 1 over here, this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. Seeing the number 1 hair follicle, there is enough of nutrition. If I put a helmet on my scalp, this is a natural helmet. The gallia shrinks in response to stress. So the gallia shrinks. It's called the gallia aponeurotica. So this gallia shrinks and the blood supply has become lesser. The hair follicle has become shorter. Then later more shorter, and finally very short or vellus hair are formed on the scalp. So this is the function of gallia. That's the gallial muscle. What is interesting to note is the balding occurs, the total baldness which is on the scalp, which occurs is on the place where the gallia is there. This place, the gallia is not there. It's the occipitalis muscle. There we will find hair, even in bald men. Yahan pe. So this is it. And then I have another idiom now. What can we do about it? So that is how, so what happens is, when the DHT is produced by the body, the gallia is not allowing the nutrition to reach over there. The function of the DHT is nullified. It is not able to produce hair on the scalp. So my suggestions are what we can do. We can reduce the stress first. Then we reduce that, the cortical effects also. There's a saying, there's an idiom again, keep your hair on. That's a British saying. So what would that mean? Anybody? I thought you were from UK. He's shifting now. Rob is shifting.
Bipolar.
It means stop being upset about something. And then another saying is let your hair down, relax. So that is the core where we can actually treat male pattern baldness. Thank you so much.